passionate about Cleveland sports.
He's going in! Touchdown!
Browns, Indians, Cavs, the Big Ten, and more.
Cleveland is a city of champions once again!
Andy and Jarid, Cleveland and beyond.
A swing and a drive! To deep right!
Here are your hosts, Andy Billman and Jarid Watson.
Hello and welcome, Andy and Jarid, Cleveland and beyond. He's Andy Billman, I'm Jarid Watson, and this podcast is brought to you by Waiting for Next Year. Check them out, original Cleveland sports reporting at waitingfornextyear.com. Well, the Browns continue their extreme mood swings while they play. Continued there on Monday night as they laid an egg, as Andy says, getting blown out by the 49ers. And maybe more alarming is what's going on with Baker Mayfield. For Christ's sake. It's the sophomore slump. Is that what it is? Or is it a deeper concern? We'll talk about it. Offensive line is struggling, and why can we not get Odell Beckham Jr. the ball? I mean, we handed it off to him a few times, but that ain't cutting it. The defense wasn't much better, but could you blame them? They were on the field so long. Led by a front four, getting pushed around, though, by the Niners' offensive line. And after the game, handshake gate. Ugh, so unnecessary. Started with Richard Sherman, which later proved to be false, turning into an apology. Exhausting. Baker's response to it was kind of funny. Seahawks up next. We preview what's ahead. With the bye week looming, the Cavs preseason continues. And good news, Darius Garland is healthy. Played his first preseason game as well. Kevin Love in the news discussing the topic of mental health and believes the Cavs are closer to turning this around than most people think. Also, the Buckeyes keep rolling along as they get a week off. But first, it's time to panic. Fuck. 2-3, Cleveland Browns. Let's go.
Cleveland Browns.
Sometimes when we do this podcast, we try to get technical, and we try to.
We're trying to analyze
what I think is going on over
all
here.
these little nuggets.
What they are doing, and I think
You know what? On third,
Fuck them. They're stuck right now.
on third down, they should have thrown a fade round instead of a slant.
Yeah,
well, right now,
no, that's where we're at. No, they're sucking it up right now. Period.
well,
Period.
right now, I would love to.
Embarrassing, Andy.
I would love to discuss more. Too much Duke Johnson, but all that can be said is very true. But as we are basically alluding to here, you sometimes just get your asses handed to you, and that's what happened here. I mean, 4 plays in, Seals Jones, who I promptly gave props the week before, he couldn't get his feet in bounds. He got to make that play. He didn't. And then next play, Matt Breida.
It looked like he made the college
attempt.
attempt. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it was Seals Jones
he
got to do a
one
better
down
job.
and he didn't even work for the other one.
You're in the pros now. You're in the pros.
Yeah.
Got to get both feet in. Got to make that play. So 4 plays now for the Browns. And by the way, they had their annual false start. I mean, hey, it's like Christmas. Every time something happens, Santa comes on Christmas. The Browns on first drive, they will have 1 false start. It's a guaranteed. It is a guaranteed lock. So, anyways, Breida takes the ball to the house. He scores. Baker then promptly throws a pick. There was a moment before the Cowboy play happens, but honestly, those 3 series summed up the game quickly. Even when the Browns were in the game and being somewhat competitive, I never felt like the Browns got in this game. Really, Jared teed it up, and that's where we're going to start today, is Baker Mayfield. Baker, for the first, Jared and I were talking during the game, something I want to bring up now is, this is the first game. We're going to bring up other factors and other things to talk about that did contribute to this loss. I thought, though, Baker really played poorly.
Yeah.
It's been talked about all week. I think it's okay to hang a lot of this on Baker at times because, honestly, you can call plays, you can hand the ball off to Chubb, but there comes a point where he needs to make throws to win the game. And he's got to make plays, and he couldn't do it. And as the game went on, it got worse. And the stats now are not just supporting a guy who's struggling. He is in the bottom 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the league right now. Baker's really slow start's not being fair.
So
he's off to a bad start.
So I'm going to start with this because I'm looking at 3 things right now when it comes to what is going on with the Browns that I have a problem with. 1 is coaching, right? 1 is coaching. 2 is something that's a product of coaching, and that's scheme offensively. And 3, It's Baker Mayfield. What the fuck are they doing coming out and trying to run as many crazy plays that you run those plays when you're desperate or when you want to catch a defense off guard, period. What are you doing? What are you doing? Now, Listen, when they work, it's great, but you don't need to do it over and over again. And how many times do we have to talk about this, Andy? This offense, if they're going to get it together, they need to take baby steps, and they need to do it the right way. And the right way is to run this fucking offense through Nick fucking Chubb. Period. I'm done with this. There is no other thing that they need to be doing. Nothing. They are acting like they're down 14 every game early and trying to get the big hit. Stop it. Play football the way that you need to play it to win.
Look, Nick Chubb needs to get the ball more. Nick Chubb needs to get the ball more. But I will say, Baker for the first time is not making enough passes. This was Hoyer bad.
Well,
this was
it got
Kaiser
to that
bad.
point because they
this was
didn't
Cody
do
Kessler
it because
bad.
of the way they started the game. It's because of the way they schemed
You're
it.
right. But Jared, you're right. But at the same time, Baker's
has done it a lot of times where it's 3rd and long, and you're like, Baker's probably going to find Landry downfield over the middle, and he does that often. But they fuck themselves over. I'm so bitter right now. Even now, Andy, I was quiet. I go dark after a loss, and I was dark all week. And here we are. It's Friday night, and I'm still livid with the way that they went about that game offensively. It was ridiculous.
It was bad, but Jared, Baker played really badly.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
Baker
but I don't know what else to say about that.
But Baker, I'm going to talk about it. Baker needs to start making better throws. Baker needs to start hitting players open.
That ball
Baker's
got
to start getting the ball to. What's up?
That ball to Callaway that he bobbled.
Yes.
I mean, it's a two-way street. Callaway should have caught that, but at the same time, come on, Baker.
50.
Come on, man.
Baker's got to make that pass. I mean, look, you have OBJ and Landry, and you're only catching 4 balls in a game. By the way, Baker can only complete 8 passes.
I understand that, and also, admittedly, I haven't been looking closely enough at what's going on the field. I've been paying too much attention to Baker in the pocket and not enough attention to what's going on ahead of him, out in front of him. And so I haven't made an assessment of whether these guys are open or not. I'm not Hugh Jackson. I'm not watching the tape. That's for other people to do for me.
But we've all watched sports enough to know, and I'm telling you this, when you have guys like Baker and Beckham and Landry, hey, there's only so many DBs. One of those guys has to be open, and you're not getting those guys the ball. Why the fuck are we throwing it to Callaway after his first game back? And by the way, Jared hit on it. I'm going to hit on it one more time. Your best player on offense right now is Nick Chubb. Your best player on offense is Nick Chubb. He is a Pro Bowler. But after that, we'll go through the play calling. We're going to go through different things, but I'm just going to give you some stats. His passer rating is last in the league. This is all done on FNY, by the way. A guy did a wonderful job with this article. I wish I had his name in front of me. I don't. He is adjusted completion percentage. He's 30th. He's 29th in yards attempt, which that surprises me because Baker went down the field a lot, and his passing grade's bad. Here's the thing that alarms me: is you can maybe get around these stats if you're scoring. Baker's not scoring in the red zone. It's either Nick Chubb or bust right now. He has 4 out of 26, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. 4 completions out of 26 passes. Yes, some of this has been this dumb idea of empty shotgun, which is fucking dumb. But yes, we all agree with that. But I have seen enough on Monday where I'm ready to say, yes, but Baker's got to start completing passes. He's got to start making throws. He's got to start elevating his game to the level of the town around him.
Did you watch the Thursday night game?
I watched baseball. No.
I watched part of the Patriots game. And it was when they finally started scoring and took.
I live in this area. I live in this area of the country. I am Patriot out.
No, I get it. I get it. But I'm referencing this because, look, I know. So we can just say it right off the bat. Easier said than done. All the things that you're going to want to yell at me for saying this.
Sure.
But the Patriots are not this offensive beast, right? They're living off their defense in a lot of the sense of the season.
Now, yes.
But they are making up for it by playing to their strengths, as Coach Kitchens was doing last season with the Browns. What the fuck happened to that? Because the Browns should be scheming in the same way that the Patriots are right now, just to get life back in this offense.
You're right. I agree with that.
You don't have to. Somebody, it might have been Daryl Ryder who said it earlier in the week, and forgive me if I'm wrong, and whoever it was, take credit where it's due, wherever it is.
Yeah.
That said they're looking, and it goes right back to take what you're given. Take the chunks. You don't need, I wish I remembered the metaphor he used now. I'm screwing it up as usual. But basically, stop going for the big hitters. Stop waiting. Stop.
But Jared, they're not going for the big hitters.
He's
but
double clutching. He is at times. There's times, Andy, where he's doing the thing where he looks uncomfortable. He looks uncomfortable in the pocket, and he won't. And he's not.
That's Baker Mayfield. That's Baker Mayfield. He's got to start playing better.
When's the last time we saw Odell Beckham Jr. run a slant in between the hash and the numbers?
Couldn't tell you. They don't throw him the ball.
It was the one time that he broke away and ran the long touchdown for the season. The Jets game. That was it.
Jets game.
Why? And by the way, historically, for Odell Beckham Jr., that play is where he makes his money.
Well, then start fucking running that play more and give him the goddamn ball. But I'm telling you, someone who's observed sports, he's not doing a good enough job. And Baker knows it. And I love Baker. I think Baker's going to break out of this, by the way. But I'll tell you the other thing, too, that's coming into play for the first time. And we all saw it with the big Bosa waving the flag. Baker's comments and Baker's other things that have come up are playing against him in some of these games now.
Which we've always said, it's fine as long as they can win.
Now, and by the way, they're not even winning. They're getting blown out. That's what alarmed me about this game. What alarmed me about this game is after the last scoring by the Niners, I thought the Browns were so shot. They were done by the early third quarter. I never thought the Browns were going to win this game.
No. Well, I didn't
think they were out of this game.
I thought after the first touchdown, the first big blown play, I thought
defensive line. Where are you? Where is this defensive line?
You know what? Ohio State did this against Florida. Scored a big quick play. I've seen it in the past a few times. You score a quick.
Sure.
The Browns did it. They scored quick. Was it in the Titans game? And then they were shut down afterwards. I might be wrong. I think that might have been it. And I'm thinking, well, maybe they just got lucky. They had a big play, and the Browns are going to turn it around and surprise everyone and win 35-7. Something like that. Dude, it was not even close.
Baker threw an interception on the next play.
I know.
After the kickoff. Look, and that's on Baker. Those kind of plays compound the situation. Yes, sure, Callaway made that ball, but that ball's behind Callaway. Why is that happening time and time again? It's too frequent. I'm not, by the way, let's go to the next point. Is Baker getting enough help from Freddie? No. Do I think Baker right now is overloaded with these new, not an offensive scheme, but with this new offensive system that Monken brought in that's going along with Freddie's doing, and Freddie's coaching the game, and I think all that's playing a part of this. But on Monday night was the first time I saw it didn't matter. Baker wasn't making enough plays.
Yeah.
Baker struggled. That was fill in the blank. Kaiser, Kessler, Hoyer, Whedon, fill in the blank. That's why he did not play in the end of the game. God. And again, I love Baker, and I think Baker's going to turn us around. I do. I believe in him. But
I will say this: I even believe in him if they don't turn it around this season. I do. Because we have to be realistic, which we weren't being realistic, which doesn't help. Let's look at it this way. Let me start with this. We weren't looking at this realistically coming into the season with all the hype,
I was never quoted an article that we would win 11, 12 games. Oh shit, I was.
So was I, right? Right? We weren't. Which compounds this issue, because if we were realistic about it, if we were realistic about the fact that we have a rookie head coach, that we have a quarterback who is dealing with a whole lot of new weapons,
new things
to try to figure out and how to get the ball to them, which he hasn't been able to do to this point.
Yep.
If we would have taken into consideration all these things and understood that the team is still super young and they're going to make stupid ass penalties and they're going to have false starts on every first fucking time they have the ball, right?
you can go to the bank on the first drive. It'll be a false start.
If we'd have been realistic about this, we probably wouldn't be so damn tough on them right now.
Yes, but
it's gonna get worse.
But Jared,
if they don't
this
do something
was
about it.
bad. Do you know how many first downs they had in the second half? Do you know how many first downs they had?
I didn't count.
One.
I think I shut it off way early.
They had one goddamn first down. One goddamn hit. One goddamn first down.
If you haven't noticed, we're going to be cursing a lot in this episode.
Fuck yeah, we are. This wasn't fucking good. This was not good.
No, it was a shit show,
Now, by the way,
man.
and Jared's not wrong, but this was extreme. This was not like, oh, hey, we went to San Francisco and we got down 20, but we lost by 10, and everybody's feeling good, and the punter did a good job, and hey, we almost made a couple plays where we're away. This game was out of control after the interception by Baker on the second drive.
It was as old Browns as it gets.
Out of control.
As old Browns as it gets. This was close your eyes. Like, I mean, if I would have closed my, let's say there's a time machine available, and if I would have closed my eyes 3 years ago, 2 years ago, right? Closed my eyes 2 years ago and opened them and watched this game, I would have thought it was just a week later. Right? I mean,
and that's what I'm getting at. Like,
that's how bad it was.
But Jared brought up a good point about expectations, but this goes beyond expectations. This was really fucking bad.
No, you're right. That's what I mean.
This did not go well.
It was that bad.
This did not go well. I mean, hey, by the way, where's Myles Garrett making a lot of plays?
They gave up. Oh, defensively, they just
And by the way, it was due to happen, and they got fine. I mean, that's the one I can deal with as a fan. Okay, we were overdue for a shit show on defense. It finally happened. Fine. Olivier Vernon, boy, I was wrong about you. You showed up in the Ravens game. I haven't seen you since. Love for you to come back. And I understand Greedy and Ward. This is a bigger topic I want to get into. Where are these second year and rookies we got? Where's Avery? Where's Greedy Williams? I know he's hurt. I get it. Denzel Ward. You know, for all this, we were so excited about these draft picks. They aren't making any impact from Dorsey right now. Callaway, he's been injured. He's been suspended. Baker Mayfield's not playing well. Where are all these draft picks?
Do you think Callaway was forced into that lineup a little sooner than
Where's all these?
He was forced out of the field.
But Jared, my point is, all these draft picks we sung home, and I was there with them. You know what? None of these draft picks are playing really well right now these last 2 years. They're either hurt or they stink. And they got to start playing better.
Let's talk about this too, by the way. Let's bring this up. If we're going to be miserable for this evening. Let's talk about this. Jamie Collins killed it last night for the Patriots. He did. Jamie Collins killed it.
By the way, and yet, that's a typical Browns move. But yeah, I mean,
But I mean, the argument is, would he have done it for, we know that
by the way,
players come here and don't play their
I'll answer that
potential.
question. Period. No, I saw him play. He quit on a lot of plays. The thing is about
we had those conversations.
That was the right move. I'm not going back on Jamie Collins. There's something in the water in Foxborough, and if I were the Browns, I would drive on the bye week on I-90, get whatever that fucking water is, and get it in gallons and bring it back to Berea and have everybody drinking and bathing in it. Because whatever's there,
test 250.
Yeah, just whatever it is, just pour it on you. Do like one of the spiritual healing things, and I would do all that more. But the whole point is, only one goddamn first down in the second half. They can't score in the red zone. They fucking stink. If your punter's the best player of the game, which he is by far the best player in the game, is not good. Myles Garrett outside the Jets game hasn't done much, if we're being honest. Olivier Vernon, would love to see you more. Richardson's playing okay. Ogunjobi, he's playing okay. We lost Kirksey for the year. Schobert's playing. He's having a great year. I love Schobert. Schobert's playing great. Nick Chubb playing great. Those two you can shelve. Denzel Ward's been hurt, and when he played in that first game, he stunk. Greedy Williams hasn't made the field yet. I mean, we are in some real shit. And finally, it occurred to me on Monday night, it's like, maybe this is what the team needed. Hopefully this is rock bottom, and this is the term I'll use. The Browns have used their mulligans. Their mulligans are now tapped out. Any more losses like this, any more, it's going to compile to freak out. I don't think we're at panic mode yet. But I think if any more losses happen like this, I think the mulligans are out. I think if Baker plays like this again this week, oh my gosh, I would be fearful of him in that bye week. It's going to be a long 2 weeks.
Is he just getting in his own head?
He is, and he doesn't look it's Captain Obvious. He doesn't look confident. He should got. By the way, I told Jared he should have gotten pulled at the beginning of the fourth quarter. He wasn't playing well. Again, one goddamn first down in the second half. One.
Well, yeah, and even if you didn't want him pulled, he still wasn't pulled soon enough. We know that. I know desperate times call for desperate measures, and I understand that when you're in the middle of something as shitty as it was, you're looking to give your team something. But we were beyond that point to have Odell trying to run back.
Well, again, that is the classic old Browns. We're throwing shit. We're throwing shit on a wall. We're just gonna try to do anything it takes to get something going.
Like, are we really that team? There's
Jared,
way too much
we
talent
are
on this
that
team
team.
to be that
and
team.
I'm going to tell you, I made this comment, but now I am going on the opposite. Baker does need to get the ball to Beckham. He needs to get the ball to Landry. The stars on this team need to be stars. That's how you built this team. You need to swing for the fences. Seals Jones Jr. putting 1 foot in and 1 foot out is not going to fucking cut it. Harris, oh, by the way, Ratley stinks. I pull all my hair out I have left. I see Ratley run one more out, and
well, Higgins might
that's
actually
good,
play.
and they need him.
And Lord knows Callaway had better.
Well, I hope so.
Week.
And by the way, it's okay if he needs a slow build up because he got Higgins back. Here's the bigger thing, Jared. This team, unlike last year, when the Browns get down, I don't feel like they can get out of these holes right now. They have to play from ahead. I don't think the Browns are one of these teams like.
And I felt like they could
last
do that
year. I felt like they could do whatever. They could be down 10, 14. They could get back.
I thought they had chances. I held on to those hopes against the Titans, and I held on to those hopes even early on in this game.
After Baker's interception, I was having some real doubt fast. That was such a bad sequence of events. I had doubt. Now, did I think the game was over? No. I did after the Niners scored in the second half. I knew after that we were done. We're cooked. Game over. Get the bus warmed up. This team does not feel like a team that can come back. There's a lot. And again, the stars outside of Nick Chubb, the stars on this team need to be stars. And that goes for Myles Garrett, too. Myles Garrett's got to start playing better. He is not doing enough. Play better. Make havoc. 2 tackles and a sack. It's not cutting it on this team right now. Need more from you.
Well, this is I don't know if you're with me on this one, but did Schobert have a kind of a poor?
I thought he played well.
I almost think everyone on this team played below.
Nick Chubb and the Scottish punter side, everybody could be questioned. Nick Chubb was fine.
Yeah, Chubb did great again.
Chubb did great. Unbelievable.
Chubb did great.
But again, just to go through, and again, the article was written on Waiting for Next Year. Check it out. It's Waiting for Next Year. Baker Mayfield sophomore slump. That was a really well done article. He's last in passer rating. He's 30th in adjusted completion percentage. Per yards attempt, which is the one that shocked me, he's 29th. For a guy last year who loved to throw the ball, then the red zone is just alarming. He's only completed 6 out of 24 passes. That is, folks, that's bad. Woo, is that bad? Bad.
You say that as I'm pouring.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You might want to make it harder. More Nick Chubb. If you listen to this podcast enough, more Nick Chubb. Here's my thing about the offensive line. I thought the offensive line had a really bad day, and I praised it last week. But again, the blocking is telling me through Nick Chubb's rushing yards that the offensive line is not as bad as what we're saying too. Now they went up against Bosa in that defensive line, which we mentioned in this podcast was the strength of the Niners, and they had a hard time. There's no question. They had a really hard time. And in fact, the numbers say that too. Baker didn't have time in the pocket. But again, Baker in this game holding the ball on too long. Sometimes clocked for
run the screenplays,
but confident
run the ball and run
decision,
the screenplays or quick slants.
You know, but I'm actually going beyond this now with Baker, Jared. Confident decision making. You can go deep. Just go deep. Believe in it. Believe in yourself. That's why you're there. Don't overthink. Don't overcomplicate. Throw it. Let that thing go. Just let it go. Let that fucker go.
It's funny. It's like my dad in the backyard when I'm
Yeah.
a kid again.
Like,
when he'd make me throw 100 pitches every night, and anytime my fastball started getting weird or my curveball started getting weird, he'd be like, "What are you
yeah,
doing?
well,
You're in there.
exactly.
Stop thinking about it. Just
Well, that's the
fucking
funny
throw
thing
the
about
ball."
Baker last year. Even when he threw deep, it didn't take a lot of time. He threw it pretty quickly out of his hands. That's what we loved about that kid. He could just flip the ball, and it would just go down the field so quickly.
Sling it.
That's the stuff. Look, all that needs to come back and more. There's a lot of things that could have gone on in this game. You know, again, we're not giving enough credit to on this bad play. Callaway play, as Munkin said, and I will quote, was catastrophic. And it was. That play really was. I mean, you can even argue that was probably a play in the game, too. I was like, God, I don't know if we're coming back from this shit. So, you know, all that to be said, and I agree, and we'll get into more of this now, but Baker, for the first time, I'm saying, Jared, does need to start playing better. He is not playing up to even the close to the level they want. He's got to play better. And I don't know what's going on. And I'm seeing some sophomore slump stuff.
28.
You know? Yes, sir.
You there?
Are you there?
28:30 is where I was at.
And I was at... Yes, I am. Can you hear
You
me?
still there?
I was at 19. Yeah.
All right, you're there again. I was
Yeah,
at
I got you.
28:30.
I was at
First
29:19.
time.
I just logged it for you. Ready to go? Okay.
I am.
This is such a good podcast to have such fucking technology failures.
I know.
That's great. Okay, here we go.
I know. Maybe it's because my wife is watching. No, that's never happened though. We watch stuff. I have fucking Fios. There's no reason for me to have these issues.
What's weird is it's not happening on my end. All right. So 3-2. So Baker has got to play better. All right. Penalties. Coaching. Penalties. The Browns are second in forced penalties. They by far lead the league in most penalty flags thrown. They just don't have all of them count against them. So, I mean, the Browns are really low in that department. You know, the thing is, we're 5 games in. Jared's so right. This is where I do, and same with Baker, you got to see him play out, and he's definitely having some issues. Freddie is having a hard time with this, but the only thing, Jared, that is carried over from the Hugh Jackson era is this penalty shit. Boy, this team has penalties. Anytime there's a flag, I'm this way now. Anytime there's a flag, I think it's against the Browns. I'm at that point again.
Yeah, but I'm not at the point where I can conflate the problem with it being the same reason as it was with Hugh Jackson. Now, what I'll say, lack of discipline when you break it down to its core, sure, but I still think Freddie will get them to figure that out. I never thought Hugh would get them.
I
to
hope
figure
you're
that
right.
out.
I think you're right. And I think you will, but I will say,
I mean, worst case scenario,
I know.
Freddie turns
Wow.
into Mike Patton.
the only thing
right?
the only thing that I'll say about
I
this
mean-
team that does bother me, how many opening drives can you have a false start? And I start telling the team, like, hey, we gotta fucking stop this shit. And it's at the home or on the road. I mean, there just comes a point where you go, you know
How do you
what?
prevent
Stop
that?
doing it. I mean, you gotta stop. I mean, truthfully, and that's where again I think.
Well, no, I just mean like snapping
know.
it on the first call, you know?
Well, I mean,
like, you know what I mean? I'm just thinking, like, how do you
Well, it's gone-
eliminate?
It's
I thought I'd
it's
try
gotten
to
to
be
this
clever
point.
there. I don't
it's
know.
gotten to this
I
point with
never
the
played
Browns
football.
where they should just take the ball and the
Raise
main
my
referee
hand on
goes,
that guy.
"What are you doing? Like, we're just moving the ball 5 yards back. Just don't worry, we're going to do this at some point." Here we go. Okay, 1st and 15. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, it's
we're
going to
just-
happen.
Let's get it out of the way. We talked about Chubb. We talked about Beckham not getting the ball. They need to get the ball back. I don't know why Callaway got the ball so many times. That's been talked about all week. It's crazy for a guy who just got back on the field. I think the big thing, too, here that we're all getting to is, you know, Munkin has a different offense than what Freddie's running. And I do think this is contributing, as Jared alluded to, and it's no question. That's alluding to some of these problems. It's probably what's having. I still don't think Baker's playing well enough to get through that, but okay. Some of the problems here, though, are definitely with that. We mentioned this podcast. Again, I think it's very simple, and we've both said it. If you run the ball to 24, Nick Chubb, you're amazing how much your life gets easier.
You'll have more time in the pocket. You're going to open up play action. You're going to have spots down the field. You're going to have times to run those slants and those. There's just so much more that comes with it. I don't understand why they're trying to reinvent the wheel.
And again, we saw those guys last week. No signs of Hilliard or Johnson. So they're not going to anything of the running game. It's not just Nick Chubb. The Kareem Hunt count.
Well, I'm not worried about it because I don't think they're running Nick Chubb enough anyway.
Well, but that's my point. It's like,
although at the same time, they certainly left him in that game longer than they needed to.
That was dumb. Anyways, they just had a brain fart of a game. And as we mentioned, and we'll hit upon again the defense. Look, the defense finally had a bad game. Almost 300 yards of offense on the ground.
Can't blame them. Can't blame them when you think about it from the macro, from way above.
But the first,
of course, they're going to have a bad.
But the first play of the game is 84-yard.
What?
Yeah,
you're right. Never mind. Disregard what I just said.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Jared, again, I'm actually starting to go down this road. He's a very good player. He's not great. He's not elite. Sorry. I don't think he is. I don't think you're ever going to get me off that point anymore. I'm just, where is it? Where is this guy? He doesn't take over a game. He's got to start taking over games like he did in the Jets game. See more of that. He went up against an inexperienced tackle. What the hell happened?
Somebody last night said Jamie Collins was in the running for defensive player of the year last night. Going back to that again. All right, I'm done.
I rest my case. I can't.
I mean, my thing. I mean, it's just
think about this too, Jared.
Blessed.
Think about this too, Jared. For the first half of last year, Denzel Ward was maybe one of the best players on the field for the Browns. And he hasn't basically played now in almost a season.
Not even holding it against him. You know why?
Well, no,
I had a feeling he was going to be shook. And it all stemmed from those head injuries.
But Jared, we need him on the field and play well.
He doesn't know how to tackle.
I'm going to start hammering this home in this podcast. He needs to. Where are these draft picks? Where are these stud draft picks? I don't see them.
Yeah.
Greedy Williams hasn't played a game. Higgins is coming. God, this is a depressing podcast. We're going to break down the Cavs. It's exciting in the preseason, sadly. All right, so all that shit happens. The game ends.
I'm actually, that's the thing.
I'm excited.
How shitty is this? I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna pay for NBA pass.
The Cavs are going to be, I think, sneaky positive. I'm not going to say they're going to win a game.
I don't care. I just want to watch them.
Sneaky positive would be my. I wouldn't say they're going to win, but sneaky positive. Okay, we're going to get to them in a second. We talked about the big plays.
It's going to be much longer than a second, but go ahead.
10. So all this shit. Have we hammered the Niner game enough? I think we have. All right, let's go to Richard Sherman.
Oh God, I know. I'm wondering how many people either turned off.
No, they haven't. They love this podcast.
Well, they've had a full week of it.
But here's the thing to everybody out there. This does not mean the season's over. I'm telling you, it's not. The season's not over. Now I'm going to shake Jared's hand after this podcast. We always do at the end of the podcast. We're going to shake hands, even whether it's like through touchscreen or whatever.
Oh,
so
Lord.
Richard Sherman.
What the fuck was this?
That is these. I gotta be honest, for everything to Brown. You know what? Let's take it. Let's get to the. Okay, this is quick. He. I don't know. By the way, our good friend Mike Silver with the story. What a surprise. So Sherman doesn't shake hands. By the way, what?
He's so weird. I had to talk to somebody else. That's weird. There's a Twitter account that followed me because it's a Twitter account that only follows people that have been blocked by
really?
Silver. It came up like why?
And by the way,
so
I'm not even against him, but dude,
he's a fucking weirdo. I am. I'm done.
But dude, that's
I
on
hit
him.
my limit. I talked to the guy. He's an idiot.
But by the way, it's on him. It's on him here because Richard Sherman again was mistaken. But here's the thing I will say though.
Exactly. Somebody didn't do their diligence.
And by the way, everything's cleared. Apologies. Whatever. Here's the thing: the Browns are a drama magnet since Hard Knocks. It has just been a drama magnet for 16 months. Through Hugh Jackson, through even Freddie's hiring wasn't normal. Odell Beckham.
Admittedly, though, they've done well with this. It's not like Baker came out and was like, forget him. I shook hands. Wow. Like he didn't grab it.
They're doing well.
Stayed quiet about it. And he was
They're doing well.
with
They're
his
doing well.
response.
What's their record?
Stop.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I said they're doing well in regard to that response. Do not go there. Do not. It's bullshit. All I'm saying is Baker's response was good. His response was good. It's the first time the camera is.
Look, I'm ready to wave a white flag. I don't want any more. Look at this. I'm waving a white flag. I don't want any more. No more stories.
Well, Andy, we talked about this though. Less talky,
more dewy. Yes,
dewy.
I'm done. I don't want to break down flag stuff. By the way, did anybody catch that? I mean, we were all asleep at the wheel. Who fucking forgot Bosa played for Ohio State? And God, was he pissed. By the way, how many times were the Browns' feet off the air?
You know that I'm one of those Buckeyes that can separate myself from my fandom.
Yes,
right? Here's the deal.
Right.
Bosa quit on the Buckeyes. Fuck him. I don't give a shit.
He didn't quit on.
And oh, by the way, his racist tweets or whatever the hell has been out there.
Major racist.
That's where I'm at on that. And oh, by the way, Baker was right. That shit obviously aided him for a long ass time because as many years as it's been, he had that shit down to a T, including the timing. So Nick Bosa, while you could have been helping the Ohio State Buckeyes win a national championship, which we could have used you, you weren't. You chose not to come back, and good for you. Maybe it was the right choice for you, no problem. But as a Buckeye, I'm not going to sit here and kiss your ass just because you wore the uniform when I know you're kind of an asshole. So there we go.
All this momentum of...
I might get hate for that, by the way.
All this momentum of just energy and charging, and who's in our mirror? The 4-1 Seattle Seahawks, Super Bowl champions from years ago. Russell Wilson playing at a high level. They love to run the ball. Good. That's what the Browns have not done the last 2 weeks. Perfect. And Wilson makes enough plays. Defense is still solid. I mean, it's funny. This has been quoted by Landry, and this is where I do agree with this term, which I did not 2 weeks ago, but I do here. I think this is a big crossroads, fork in the road, whatever fucking phrase and whatever you want to use there. This is that game. Even though it's an NFC game and it has no value in playoffs, the Browns could use this game for...
Well, it's a quality opponent at home, and the Browns don't have a home
mentality stability is what this team needs. Mentality, I mean, they need it badly. Let's go through some of the quotes. Our sense of urgency is at an all-time high, Baker Mayfield said. Right now, the season can go either way. We're at a fork at the road. I'm sorry. Beckham Jr. is the guy who said that, not Landry. It's funny. We're all having this conversation because we feel like the team might be 1-4 and 0-5, and now we're all upset because we're 2-3, Beckham said. So that's a good mindset. We're all upset that we're 2-3.
So they're saying that they're even calling their 2 wins shitty wins.
They are. Others not pushing the panic button. Shredder, I think we all understand where we're at. It's not time to panic. I do agree with Shredder. I don't think you're panicking. Your mulligans, though, have been spent. And then Landry's very Mr. Positive usually, even though it's early, and it's definitely a point in our season where we have to hit the ground running.
Baker, I think, suffers from not wanting to disappoint Landry and Odell. And that might be a part of what's getting in this.
I agree with you.
Go ahead.
I agree with this. I take a bat on my apple. I completely agree with you. I think it's a big point of this whole team. I think Baker is dealing with that. And Baker needs to take the leadership more to say, this is my team, and if some of you guys...
No, because we've noticed that it's been Odell who's been more vocal.
And Landry.
The group around him on the sidelines.
And Landry.
Yes, and Landry.
And by the way, small bits and pieces of Chubb. I saw Chubb not be too happy in this game. So it's all starting to come around. So it's a fork road game.
But at the same time, all three of them need to rally around Baker.
Baker needs to play better too. You're right. But Baker needs to play better.
What I'm saying is that would help.
What?
That would help him play better.
All right, I can go through more negative quotes. I think we're done. I actually think with everything that's going on this week, and that, by the way, there are certain cities now that we have this rivalry with. The Yankees and Giants of New York definitely feel this way with Baltimore because the O's in the playoffs and, my God, the Ratbirds. San Francisco and Silicon Valley with the Niners game and with the Warriors.
Right, and we've talked about this offline with local boy from Cardinal Mooney, Jed York, and of course with Bosa.
Yeah, I don't care for San Francisco right now. Don't care for Oakland, San Francisco. I have lovely relatives live out there and they're lovely people. Don't care for that city though. All that to be said, I can't believe I'm saying this. I think the Browns are going to win this game. For all the bullshit and for all the crap that they went through, I do think the Browns will rise up. I think the Seahawks are due for a flat turd. I think they'll get one in this game. I do think Seattle is due for one of those games. I think the Browns will come out with Nick Chubb running all over the place like they did against the Ravens. And even if it doesn't mean for big yards early, I think the Browns will somehow pull this game out. They'll have the lead the entire game, 23-20 and a nail-biter. I think Baker will play.
I think if they win right now, it's defense and field goals.
punting. But
field position.
Here's why I'm thinking this though, Jared. I still think this team's gonna make the playoffs. And I think they need this game to make the playoffs. I really do.
Oh yeah. No, I'll double down on that, and I'll tell you right now, this is a must-win game.
I agree.
This is the first time I think I'm saying it.
I do.
This is a must-win game. It's a must-win game. It is. It absolutely is. Can they change it afterwards? Sure, they can, but man, are they at a
They are. So that's why I'm saying this. So 23-20. I actually think Baker is the quarterback from last year. I think he'll play better. I don't think he's going to play great. I'm not ready to say that anymore. I think he'll play better.
All I need is good enough to win.
Nick Chubb. I think you'll see a lot of Nick Chubb. And I think you'll see either Landry or Beckham go off. And honestly, I would love to see it. Every time I do this, it seems like the guy plays above it. Love to see Myles Garrett take over a game. Love to see what he did against the Jets happen again. So there you go, 23-20 Browns. I do think they'll win.
Oh, boy.
I just think this team will rise up through all this stuff.
28-6, Seattle.
Oh, no. Usually I'm the one picking the bad.
Nope.
You are
28-6, Seattle.
All right.
I don't have the confidence they're going to turn around like they're supposed to right now.
It's going to be a hell of a podcast during the bye week. We're going to go through mock drafts.
Talk Cavs.
Frankie Lindor trade rumors.
Talk about Kipnis's time with the Indians and how it's coming to an end.
Yeah, he did a shoe giveaway. I love that guy. He's such a nice guy.
I do love him. Absolutely.
I do love that guy. I hope he comes back in some capacity with the Indians if he doesn't get landed. But he will. He's too good of a player. He'll land somewhere. Giants, the New England.
With the Yankees, and he'll hit 300.
Oh, don't say that. Oh, my God. You want to be the worst if he played for, like, the Rays or the Twins. Ugh, the Twins. Oh,
no, he's not. Yeah, I know.
Oh, that would drive me insane. Oh, I don't want to think about it. All right, so the Patriots beat the Patriots. The Patriots beat the Giants in the big game up here in the Northeast. The Giants stinking helps. Good slate of games this week. Kansas City looked human. Good to see. By the way, we're down to this is such a good feeling. You know what? Let's have some laughs. You hear this? Hear this rustling paper? This is trying to figure out who the quarterback is for the Steelers. I don't have his name. I don't know.
Is that Rudolph or something?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Oh, no, wait. He's knocked out. I forgot. Who is that? I have no idea.
I have no idea. It's great.
I have no idea.
We've been in those shoes. I was talking to a Steelers fan. I saw the face. I saw the look in his face. I'm like, those Steelers brown stickers in Pittsburgh keep going down and down and down in price.
Again, of all the years, I mean, the AFC North, who'd have guessed?
That's why it's still in play.
Yep.
That's why it's still in play. Lions.
Well, it's not helping us that these assholes are playing the Bengals coming up this week too. We're not there.
Oh, I know. By the way, keep that in mind. And they're gonna. I think they really will beat Seattle. Even if they don't, the Ravens have to play all those teams the Browns just went through. All of them.
And they're not going to win.
No.
Like, they're not going to win those games.
No.
They're not. Lamar Jackson is being exposed just like what's his face in New York? Giants. I can't remember his name. Everyone was getting mad because he was getting buried, and then he had a good game, 2 good games, whatever, and then now he's trash. So, anyways, go ahead.
Bengals Ravens for you guys out there who want to double up on your TV screen.
Yeah.
The Ravens will win that game, sadly. Niners play the Rams. That is a great game. It's a hidden gem at 4:05.
You better believe I'm rooting for the Rams big time.
Yeah, just run it up.
Just to bring the Niners back down to earth.
Run it up. Not enough. Packers Lions is a wonderful Monday Night Football game this week. Steelers are playing the, I don't even know what you call them anymore, the Chargers. I wouldn't even call them Los Angeles. They really don't have a fan base. And then if you really want an outside
so
perspective.
Like the Dolphins.
Yes. If you want, by the way, they're coming to Cleveland soon. That'll be nice. By the way, the Bills 4-1. Bills just keep motoring along, just keep winning games.
Quietly.
Boy.
Except for their fans who like to dive off of things and give themselves concussions.
Yes, that was dangerous. I shouldn't even laugh. That was bad. I don't know.
It looked like I was watching someone commit suicide. These virals, for anyone who doesn't, these viral videos that you find in your feed if you follow ridiculous sports content on Twitter.
By the way, random fights in NFL games. Random fights in NFL games, another popular one.
Oh, yeah. A lot, busted coverage. Yeah, just follow some busted coverage and get some of that.
By the way, if you want to feel better about the Browns, that a team that had some expectations aren't doing well, the Falcons are a complete disaster.
Well, I was just going to bring that up to you. I was going to bring that up to you.
That is a shit show.
As I readjust my headphones.
In Atlanta.
I was going to ask you if you could call this a guaranteed win for the Falcons in Arizona, and I don't think you can.
No, I don't think you can.
Isn't that crazy?
I think it's a dangerous game.
You should be able to call that a guaranteed win for the Falcons.
And if you don't win,
and I can't.
And by the way, if you don't win, stay in just stay in Arizona. Don't even fly back.
There's a lot of shitty games again this week. Redskins at Dolphins,
Eagles, Vikings. I actually like this.
All right, I'll give you Eagles, Vikings.
I even Saints, Jaguars. I like that game. Texans, Chiefs. Not bad. Not bad. I love the Niners.
Yeah, but
Rams.
you've got another like we said, Falcons, Cardinals, Titans, Broncos. You like Cowboys, Jets?
No. Did you hear what I'm saying? I'm watching Niners, Rams. I'm not watching Cowboys.
Oh, yeah. No,
I'm not. I got the package ticket. I won't be watching.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, it'll be. I'll probably just leave it on Red Zone. That's what I do. But
yeah. By the way, I have to pay for Red Zone. I refuse to pay for it. I want to make that announcement. Not paying for it.
I don't know why.
Not paying for it. They want to charge me extra. I'm like, nope. I will just buy your ticket and watch it. Pay enough for that thing. Have we broken down Baker's struggles? Okay, we'll move on. All right, let's go to I love you, Baker. I believe in you. I picked you to win. I think you'll play better this week.
Absolutely love him. Absolutely.
All right. Let's talk about the Cavs. So it's funny as I was trying to hold on and burp and I didn't burp. This is a hell of a podcast here on Friday.
So you succeeded.
I did.
All
Here's some quick things to read. I think the Cavs are pleasantly positive. Doesn't mean they're big wins. Doesn't mean they're going to make the playoffs.
Right.
But they're positive. Kevin Love has had a bunch of good stuff about mental health. I won't go into this podcast, but you should read about his stories if you haven't already. It's a wonderful story. I'm doing a big topic on mental health with a group here in New York. It's a wonderful. Really? Yes, I am. I'm doing a documentary on a whole series on mental health and the mental health going on in
I'm
this
angry
country.
that I haven't talked to you about this offline, but okay, go ahead.
No, but now that my other project's ending, this is my new focus for the next 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
But
okay. Well, we will be talking.
We will be talking. But Kevin Love doing wonderful things in mental health, and I think it's really cool what he's doing there. Also, though, on the court, you can tell he's very excited about this year. He's been talking about with Sexton. You can tell Sexton and Love are really connecting. I think Sexton's going to have a big year, too.
That's huge, by the way.
I do, too. I think it's huge, too. And the other thing I love about this already, from, the Kevin Love stuff from Sexton, that's not surprising. That happens on every team. So that's very fair. But here's what I like about what I'm hearing already from Kevin Love about Beeline.
Yep.
Guys are going to get better. I'm going to get better. I'll probably be a better leader. I know that I'm going to have my moments where we're all humans, have a young team, but I'm trying to be a better leadership role. And when he talked about Beeline specifically, I swear I'm glad I met Coach, because even if I weren't here, I still want to be close to him. He reminds me a lot of John Wooden. Wow. And by the way, he's usually a graduate, so he obviously knows a lot about Wooden. But the thing I also got from these articles about reading from Kevin Love, we are working our ass off.
Yeah.
This has not been a, hey, high five and let's see how fast you can run down the court and let's do the best windmill
when's the
dunk.
last time? Yeah, when's the last time a LeBron team has had a coach lead the team? Right.
Well, this is Beeline's
right.
team.
It's a different world, and that's not a knock. I mean, it's worked for LeBron.
Oh, by the way, we won a championship. It worked.
But but where this team is right now and how they are rebuilding, it's not like the bullshit with, we'll just get Kyrie Irving over here and we'll try to have a coach and we'll do no, this is a legit rebuild going on here.
It is. And
kind of like they did in Boston on and off a few times.
I agree. Good comparison. Good comparison. The thing I like about this, though, that it's not a big topic, but it's something that I want to make aware of to people listening to this podcast. I think the Cavs are going to be fun to watch. And I think they're going to be positive. They're going to have some games. And now I thought this way last year. Boy, was I wrong. I do think this way. I like this.
Injuries,
but there was really no substance. We were
right.
We
there was no center of gravity either.
There really wasn't. There was no substance. There was no movement. You can tell. I like these comments I'm already hearing from this team. Here's some other quick things I was worried about in the last podcast. Garland did come back and play on Monday. He's playing again tonight. So Garland's injury is back, and he looks good, so no worries there. Porter was the big star on Monday. Again, these are preseason games, so it's like anything else. You can weigh only too much. But it's nice to see Porter. Porter, you can tell, is thriving in the system, too. Early notions, you can take this for what it's worth. It's preseason, but I think you can take this for what it's worth, seeing it's a new coach. Starting lineup looks like it's going to be Osman, Love, Thompson, Brandon Knight, Sexton. That's the early starting five.
Knight and Osman are the only two that I've got my questions on there, I think.
I could see Chetty come off the bench again. But the young lady, Kelsey, I wish I had her.
I'm not a fan of potential sixth man of the year style players starting. I'm just not.
Kelsey Russo's her name. She's the new writer for The Athletic this year for the Cavs.
Okay.
She is mentioning, too, Osman has looked better on the floor already.
Okay.
I know. Preseason.
Listen, it's going to come down to what Beeline does with them. I mean,
yes.
right? I mean,
yes.
But there's a ceiling there, too. So
there is, and again, it's preseason. So that's why I'm saying it's not a guarantee, but I like
is the goal to play near 500 basketball? Is that really?
I think it's about hope. The Cavs need hope. At the end of last year, you and I both said, "Where's the hope?" And it started with the higher Beeline, and it's carried so far. That is the hope.
and it made sense to be as depressed as it was last year.
It was bad.
It really did. It needed. I mean, it was just that's just
out.
Where that was gonna go.
It bottomed out. It bottomed out for sure.
Right.
So again, I won't do anything more than that. If you want a quick box score update here live, they're dominating the Pistons in a preseason game. They're up 20 in the late in the third quarter. Yeah, looks like they're going to win. So again, it's a nice start for preseason, but it's a nice start.
I mean, like I said, I'll be paying for my NBA pass this year. I really do want to watch this team. I do because of Beeline. Because I love Kevin Love now more than I did when he first came to the team and over the past
Kevin
few years.
Love's
I am a bigger Kevin Love fan, and it's not because he's the only guy left, of that. Like that's not it. I mean, you can count Tristan Thompson, but it's easy to forget about Tristan, especially after how he played last year.
Delly,
of course, Delly. My point is, I thought I would have been more excited about Kevin Love over those past few years, and I really wasn't. Now I'm in a position where I've kind of paid more attention to who he is as a person and his struggles, and the fact, a lot of it's personal reasons where he's really demonstrating to me that this is a guy who wants to help those younger guys, who is not afraid to have, his ego isn't hurt by having this former college coach come in and run their asses off, right? And bust their asses.
Again, he mentioned Erico. They're working really hard.
Yes.
I love to hear that. Again, it's a good start. Let's see where it goes. These games don't count yet, but it's a good start. All right, let's finally wrap it up. The Buckeyes continue to roll. I know they had their moments, but Sparty does that in these kind of games, and D'Antoni definitely.
And I told you this. They wear the black uniforms. They're at home. It's prime time. It was nowhere near what it could have been.
Because that's because the Buckeyes are good. I mean, honestly, I'm being truthful. The Buckeyes are that good.
And Ryan Day might be that good.
Right now, the Buckeyes did not play well, and they still won by a comfortable margin in that game.
Yeah.
So the Buckeyes continue to roll. They play the Fighting Buys this week, so they get a chance to rest. The one thing I want to mention quickly, yes. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to bring up that after this last week, we really have to pay attention to the fact that Wisconsin is a legit contender in the Big Ten. They absolutely, no doubt, are.
You know what? Next week, if we can do both, Hayden Grove for sure, and maybe Nathan Bard. Double dip.
We should have Nathan come back. That would be great.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So they keep rolling on. I'm here now to break down the Notre Dame Bowling Green game. 52-0 says it all. It's SC week for us Irish fans. That's the big game. SC's better than what you think. That'll be a tricky game. Great slate of football games. SC Notre Dame 7:30. Florida LSU at 7. Bama at A&M at 3:30. And probably the big game in Dallas, OU and Texas to start off at noon. So you can have games from noon until late, Jared. You can't want anything more as a college football fan all day.
Does Florida upset LSU? Because LSU's still that sleeper team.
Here's the one thing I observed as I watched the entire... Boy, it was not a clean game. Auburn and Florida was sloppy. It was a hard game to watch. Mm-hmm. Florida, though, does one thing that is the closest thing in a while. It reminds me of trestle ball. They dirty up the game by doing simple things. They punt. They play hard defense. They play the game well. They don't do it with any flash. And they just lull you to sleep. And then the next thing you know, they run an 80-yard touchdown on a running play. And that's kind of what Florida does. All that to be said, if Joe Burrow plays the way he's been playing up to this year, Florida's going to lose by 10+. LSU's that good. Yeah. LSU is that good. But I was impressed. That was a good win for Florida. Even though it was at home, too, and it's homecoming. Auburn's really good, and they made Auburn look bad. Nick's really played like a freshman in that game. It's the first time all year he kind of got exposed. But that happens on the road. But no, it's a good question. If Florida wins that game, it's Georgia and then bust the SEC championship game. Really is. Watch out, though, for if you really want to, again, though, the other game I'd really keep your eye on is Oklahoma, Texas, because that affects the Buckeye fan out there. That game is ripe for Texas to win. I know OU's been stomping around. They've been doing great. They are ripe to win that game.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
They are ripe to win that game. No one else watches these games, I don't think, but I do. I thought the baseball playoffs have been. I know the Indians are in it, but I think they've been wonderful.
I think other people are watching. I have to be honest about it. I usually shut it down.
I hear you.
Because it's usually teams that I don't want to watch. Braves, Yankees, Astros, Dodgers. Well, these are teams I don't want to watch.
For all the heartache that we've had as fans, what the Braves went through in that first inning, when you give up 10 runs in the first inning and a home winner-take-all game, that's as bad as it gets.
Could you imagine fans how much they paid for those tickets?
No. I was just talking to
and knowing that they threw their money away in the first fucking inning.
It's one of those situations you hate to say it sounds like such an alcoholic. Sad. It's just like, let's just go to the bar. Let's just get out of here. Like,
yes. And if you're gonna stay, it's how high can we stack the cups? How big of a pyramid can we make with the cans? That's what it is.
Yes, making games out of the game. Because there's nothing else you're gonna do.
Well, did you see the video of with the Kershaw jersey? By the way, another viral video. So, walked down to the field, ripped his Kershaw jersey off, and threw it on the field.
Let's get to that now.
Walked out.
So let's go to one extreme to the next. That Dodgers lost 3-1, 8th inning. Your Cy Young Award winner, on the mound. Can't even get an out. Back-to-back jacks. And then after all that's
2
done,
years
you have
straight he's been trash like that, huh?
It's been for a while now. And then you go through all that, and then Joe Kelly, the star of the postseason last year for the Red Sox, Jensen's in the bullpen, all these other guys for the Dodgers they had all year, and they leave Joe Kelly in the game, and Howie Kendrick hits one out. The Nationals. Boy, if you had Nationals and Cardinals in your playoff pool, congratulations. That Dodger loss probably cost Dave Roberts his job. And I hate saying something like that, but it's true. That was a bad managerial performance. A lot of mistakes being made. And then I don't want to do this too much, as I actually do. I really like Michael Brantley, and I'm happy for him. And he played very well in the Astros series. Had a big home run in Game 5.
Of course he did.
Astros, Yankees.
Just like Jamie Collins had a great game last night on Thursday and is being talked about as the defensive player of the year.
Is that bothering you? Is that the third time you mentioned that? Might be.
It's the entire idea of it, the cycle of it.
One
guy comes to Browns with high expectations. Guy underperforms with Browns. Guy gets released to go somewhere else because he didn't perform. Guy then becomes best player in his position in the league next season. Like it's just, it's the circle of life. It's
like Cam Irving being a good right guard for the Chiefs. Doesn't make sense.
Yes.
By the way, did I tell you that they got one goddamn first down in the second half? One. Browns got one. I think the Browns are going to win. I usually do not carry I usually do reality. I think this is more belief land in me. But I actually do believe the Browns are going to win. I thought this team was going to make the playoffs, so I'm banking on that. I think they need to win this game to make the playoffs. Actually, it's going to be a hard run. How about this? They can make the playoffs. I think it's a hard run to the finish. Irish with a big game.
Yeah, they can lose one or two of the. Well, they could win. They could lose two of the next in the rest of. They could lose three, right? They could lose three and still make the playoffs.
They have
still win the division.
But again, you got. Anyways,
they're not going to make They're not going to make it as a wild card in the North. I'll tell you.
No, they're going to win the division.
There's only going to be one team that come out of this.
They better stack. They better stack those wins, boy.
They better win every divisional game.
Better stack
every fucking divisional game.
Better stack those wins. Go Irish, beat SC. Hopefully they can do that this week to keep their national championship hopes up. Great week of college football. Great week of NFL. But I think both slates are really good. I'm going to make picks. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing in picks right now, but believe in me, I will turn this around. Had some rough weeks. I will not pick the Browns this week at the points. I think they're going to win. I will not do that again this week. And then my final point, it's in the background, and I get it. I would pay attention to the Cavs. I think there's a nice story building here. I really would pay attention to the Cavs. Doesn't mean they're making the playoffs. It doesn't mean they're going to win big. It's a nice story, and it feels good, and you should read it.
For Andy's picks, check out andyandjared.com or clevelandandbeyond.net. Also, shoot us an email, andyandjared@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/clevelandandbeyond. And on Twitter, @CLE and Beyond. You can listen to the podcast wherever podcasts are found. That would be Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes, your Alexa device, all that good stuff. And don't forget, we are brought to you by Waiting for Next Year. Check them out. Original Cleveland sports reporting at waitingfornextyear.com. Andy?
Astros Nationals will be your World Series.
Sake, I thought you were going to be like, I got nothing.
And Astros and Nationals will be your World Series. And then later this week, we do a wrap-up with Mandy Bell and the Tribe. Be on the lookout for that. So be on the lookout. Wrap-up for the Tribe with Mandy Bell.
He's Andy Billman. I'm Jared Watson. We are miserable Cleveland Browns sports fans just like you. Andy and Jared, Cleveland and Beyond, 28-6. That's my pick. Go Browns. Talk again soon.
Please win.
They're not going.
Oh, God.